Hi, I'm Alex Collins, and this is my final case study project. This project is all about taking an education program that I'm somewhat familiar with and referencing it to my three major themes that I previously had in my seed responses. Just to summarize my three major themes, the first is all about each child's potential and ability and how different teaching methods and strategies need to be demonstrated so that each child has the fair opportunity to learn because all students learn differently. Secondly is the willingness to better a program. It takes physical actions to gain improvements. And lastly, most of the skills and lessons are developed outside of the learning environment rather than inside the learning environment. Within my seed responses, I used three books which had four different credible authors. The first being Pasi Solberg, who wrote Finnish Lessons of 2011. The second is David C. Berliner and Jean V. Glass, who wrote 50 Myths and Lies That Threaten America's Public Schools. And lastly is Julia M. Williams, who wrote Jewels on Schools of 2008. So the teaching and learning organization that I chose to analyze was a 5th grade all-girls basketball camp. This camp was every day for a week and just an hour a day. I've worked this camp for many, many years, so I was very familiar with it. I am the only coach of about 20 kids. My first theme deals with, like I said, the potential and ability of each child. So going into this camp, I know that all the kids are at kind of the same level, but they all are at different levels, if that makes sense. So I need to challenge and help them accordingly. Berliner and Glass of 2014 says, if every child can learn all subjects to the point of mastery, if every child is to be a winner, then who is to blame when the child or children fail? When not every child wins, when some children quit or drop out. Being kind of the educator, the teacher, whatever you want to call me, the goal is to never allow your kid to drop out. You don't want your kids to quit. In the camps, I teach them that the only one to blame for their success or failure is themselves. I give them everything that they need. I give them scoring techniques, ball handling skills, countless offensive moves. And it's up to them whether to take advantage and put them into use or to just kind of let them go in one ear, out the other. I motivate them to master these skills to the best of their ability and practice, practice, practice. Then once they've mastered them in practice, I encourage them to move them into game situations so they can really show everyone how much they have mastered these skills. Next, I work with all the kids and make sure that they're giving 100% and make sure that they're reaching their potentials and striving for their goals. The reason they're at this camp is because they want to get better, they want to get something out of it, they want to learn something new. So Williams from 2008 says that what exactly does effort look like across cultures, across economics, even across personalities? The truth is, any measurement is neutral until we assign meaning to it. Page 103 to 104. So Williams is kind of saying that every kid comes from a different background and has different personalities. So how are you to judge if they have different levels or different ways of showing effort? Well, specifically, I chose the basketball camp, so I know what it's like to be working hard, to be focused and concentrated. So my method of putting a label on effort is I kind of look for the girl who seems to be putting in the most effort and who's the most focused and say, everyone, you need to be more like her. That not only makes all the other girls jealous and kind of envious, oh, she got praise, I want to work harder than her now, I want to be better than her. But it also makes the one girl who I pointed out feel rewarded and special, oh wow, I am working hard, this is awesome, let me keep doing this so I get rewarded more. And then I go on to demonstrate the correct way of doing things. So whether it's shooting, dribbling, defending, I show modeling. I model for them, and hopefully that they can see it and understand it and then do it themselves. But I know that most kids need to learn in different ways, so I find different methods of teaching. So a couple examples, I'll either have a child that does understand show another girl how to do it so that she can get a more, I don't know, like girl on girl, like understanding, whether like as opposed to me just being a coach telling her how to do it. Or sometimes I'll physically move their hand on the ball or tell them to sink their shoulders or bend their knees or hold their follow through or whatever they need be, just so they can feel what it's like, as opposed to just trying to understand it in their brain as I kind of order them around. And with that, Pasi Sahlberg then states, a typical feature of education in Finland is the encouragement of teachers and students to try new ideas and methods, to learn from innovations, and to cultivate creativity. So like I said, I try to think outside of the box when trying to teach. I don't like the standard method of standing up, telling them what to do, letting them do it. I want them to creatively come up with different ways, and maybe they can tell me like, oh, I like to learn this way, or oh, it really helped when I did this, so that I can feed off of them, and then I will know for the future. My second theme is all about wanting more than success and actually taking physical actions and steps forward to ensure success. Williams first makes the broad statement of saying, we truly face the unknown each year, page 5. And me being an educator or a coach, I can relate to that, because every year when I do this camp, I don't know how much better the children will get. I don't know if the kids even like coming to this camp. I don't know if they'll continue to play the next year after this camp. So it's kind of my responsibility to make sure that it's enjoyable. I want to make sure that they're having fun. I want to make sure that their friends are there and that it's just a fun, comfortable environment. I also want to make sure it's worth their time. They need to get something out of it. It can't be all fun and games. It needs to be kind of strict, or not strict, but it just needs to be productive. And then lastly, I want to make sure that they understand what I'm saying. I mean, me coaching, the whole part of that is I'm not just telling them what to do. I need to make sure that they're understanding. So I need to make sure to pay attention to every single kid. I really focus on not neglecting anyone. Like, if a child is really understanding and really showing that they know how to do something very well, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, you're great, I'm not going to worry about you. I'm going to try to challenge them more and say, okay, do it faster or do it for longer. And then if someone is really struggling, I'm not going to spend forever on them to try to catch them up to people who are better. I'm just going to be like, okay, let's break it down. Start by mastering this part, then this part, and then hopefully they'll figure it out as time goes along. Berliner and Glass make another broad statement by saying, it is essential that the truth replace the fiction, page 3. These kids playing basketball might be told so many different times that, oh, you're never going to be good enough. Oh, you're not good. You won't succeed. You won't be able to jump high enough. Like, you should just quit soon, blah, blah, blah. And that's like so frustrating, because if these kids believe in what they want to do, if they can replace that fiction talk and know the truth inside that they are going to be good enough, if they put the effort in, they will be. If they put the physical work in, they will in return get physical results. And I preach that at my camps. Like, you will always be rewarded if you put in the actual time and effort. Then Sahlberg says, the demand for better quality teaching and learning is more equitable, and efficient education is universal. Page 1. So I kind of took this as planning to meet expectations and following basic curriculums or just going through the motions is never going to get you anywhere and is never going to increase success. I tell my kids that you need to do something creatively. You need to I don't know, think outside the box. You need to do it better and for longer and just, I don't know, go above and beyond what everyone's asking. You don't want to be just good enough. You don't want to, okay, I met it, I did it. You want to go way above and beyond that. You want to be exceptional people, exceptional basketball players. My third and final theme is developing crucial lessons and skills outside of the learning environment. My learning environment is the basketball court, kinda, and William starts by saying, integrity is such a tough concept to teach. I imagine every person on this earth has an individual definition of the word, which makes teaching it pretty problematic to begin with. Page 63. So William seems to be leaning towards that these children need to develop and recognize the value of their integrity by their own life experiences. They need to go out and see the world. They need to do their own things to value and appreciate integrity and develop it on their own. They can't learn it in the basketball court. I can't teach them and ask them. That's just asking way too much. Then Berliner and Glass add on, the behaviors we associate with character do not arise in response to direct instruction. It turns out character is something that is learned but not easily taught. Telling a child to be compassionate or to take responsibility for him or herself does not provide for a child much help in actually becoming more compassionate or more responsible. Page 148. So like I was saying, as a teacher or a coach or an educator, I can only do so much by setting a positive example and an appropriate example. I can't make these children do anything. They are in control of them. I mean, I just hope that by me setting a good example, they'll follow. I mean, I want these children not only to grow as basketball players, but also to grow as genuine people. So along with developing their characters, since my kind of program is all about my basketball camp, I also really focused on them developing their basketball skills. So it can't always happen in the gym. This camp is 1 hour for 1 week, and I give them everything they need to know, and they walk out on Friday with all of the answers, and it's up to them. They need to practice at home, whether it's alone, in a gym by themselves, with a bunch of their friends, with their team during the season, in the games, wherever they want to practice, but they have to put these moves and lessons into practice. Otherwise, those 7 hours of showing up to this camp was just useless. So that's basically my final case study project. It was kind of difficult to make all of my themes correlate with my chosen learning environment, but I don't know, if you really think about it, learning and teaching can be in any way, shape, or form. You can really apply it to anything in everyday life. So, yeah.